Welcome back to TechKidFX for another price prediction update, and in this video I'll be giving you a price prediction update on Lunc, whose current price stands at the $0.00023475 mark, and here on TradingView the market is down by 1.69%. And in this video I want to give you the key scenarios that I expect to play out, basing my analysis on the Elliot waves and the Fibonacci's, and also the key areas of support and resistances, and also draw out any key chart pattern that you have information on this chart. And I'll kickstart the video by giving a brief of what has been happening on this chart. Lunc, from these low prices that we had been trading within, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side that was obeying this Elliot wave structure, having our wave 5 taking us back to around the $0.00059 mark. And having seen this movement to the upper side obeying this Elliot wave structure, we can now name that fractal wave as a higher Elliot wave count 1. And after seeing the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 1, whatever we expect next is the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 2, and I believe that is what we are seeing right here in this movement to the lower side, making our low for that second wave at around the $0.00017 mark. And after seeing the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 2, whatever I expect next is the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 3, and I believe that is what is playing out here on the Lunc chart. And because a wave 3 is an impulsive move, I also expect to see fractal waves in formation within that third wave to the upper side. And by fractal waves I also mean like the same thing that we have seen the formation of a first wave right here. This is a fractal wave within that first wave to the upper side, which is also an impulsive movement. So I expect the same thing to play out over here in the formation of that third wave to the upper side. And after making our low down there, we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, managed to break above key areas of resistances, making a high at around the $0.00036 mark. And in that movement to the upper side, I can term that as an Elliot wave structure, having this as the first wave to the upper side. Then we saw a very nice retracement to the lower side in the formation of a wave 2. Then I expect a wave 3, then a wave 4, and then a wave 5, and that movement will be completing a higher Elliot wave count 1, which is a fractal wave within this higher Elliot wave count 3 to the upper side. And if I get a little bit into the details of the formation of this fractal wave, so that it can also give us the key scenarios that I expect to play out, before I also get into the key chart patterns that we have information on this chart. After making our low down there, we made a very nice bounce to the upper side, making our high for that first wave, then saw a very nice retracement to the lower side in the formation of a wave 2. And using the Fibonacci's, we can get to see whether that wave 2 has done the minimum that we expect a wave 2 to do by connecting the fibs from the low of the wave 1 to the high of that wave 1, and that gives me a minimum retracement area between the fib level 0.382 and the fib level 0.618, and I can mark that target area here on the charts like that. And you can see Lunc has continued to respect that movement to the lower side. We retraced into that target area, and at some point we managed to break out of the target area to the lower side, and also lost key areas of support down here. And to use the Fibonacci's once more to get to see whether this wave 2 has done the still wave 2, because it has lost our key target areas, we can use the Fibonacci's, connecting them from the low of the wave 1 to the high of that wave 1. And you can see we have not yet gotten to the fib level 0.78 fib level. In case we get to that fib level and lose it, then that will be invalidating my Elliot wave structure to the upper side in the formation of a third wave. And once we lose that key area of on the fib level and continue pushing low and maybe make a new low, then I'll consider this movement as a massive ABC corrective movement. That is, have this as a massive ABC corrective movement like that, making a new low. And in case that plays out, I'll consider this as a higher Elliot wave count 2, then expect another bounce to the upper side in the formation of a higher Elliot wave count 3. So that is what I expect according to the Elliot waves. And assuming that Lunc continues to respect this Elliot wave structure, and maybe the low that you have for this second wave is the low for that second wave, we can sketch out a target area to the upper side in the formation of this third wave, which is within the fractal wave 1. And I just need to use a trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of the wave 1 to the high of that wave 1, then dragging the fibs to the low of the wave 2, and that gives me a minimum target area to the upper side at the fib level 1.618, and that is at around the $0.00053 mark. And in case that plays out, I will expect a wave 4 and then a wave 5 to the upper side to complete that higher Elliot wave count 1. And getting to the key chart patterns that we have information right here, so that it can also give us the short-term movements that can play out. Within the formation of this second wave, you can see I have a triangle right here, having this as the upper side of the triangle, then this horizontal line as the baseline for that triangle, and we saw a breakout out of the triangle to the lower side. We even saw a retest right here. You can see after the breakout right here, we saw a retest of that key area of the triangle, then we continued pushing lower. So there is a possibility that that breakout can continue. We can continue seeing that breakout, and the target area for that breakout is the height of the triangle. So using a trend line, we can get the height like that, then place it down here to give us a minimum target area to the lower side, back to around the $0.00016 mark. But we have a key area of support at around the $0.00018 mark. So in case we continue pushing lower, there's a possibility that we can find support at that point, and in case we lose that key area of that support line, there's a possibility of us maximizing the target area back to around the $0.016 mark. And in case that plays out, I'll have to consider this as a massive ABC corrective movement, and that movement to the lower side is a wave 2, then expect a movement to the upper side in the formation of a third wave. And also right here, you can see we lost a key area of support at around the $0.00024 mark, and after losing that key area of support, we even saw a retest of that key area of support in this movement right here. We saw a breakout, then we saw a retest of the key area of support, then we have continued to push a little bit lower, and in that movement we have also seen the formation of another chart pattern, which is a triangle still in this, which I have highlighted here in blue, having this as the upper side of the triangle. Then we have this trend line as the baseline for that triangle, and you can see right here we saw a bit of a fake out of that triangle to the lower side. Then we saw a very nice bounce to the upper side, giving us a breakout to the upper side, and the target area of that breakout still remains to be the height of the triangle. So using a trend line, I can get that height like that, then place it over here to get to see whether this breakout has done the minimum that we expected it to do. And you can see we have maximized the breakout, the target area for that breakout to the upper side, by getting us back to around the $0.00024 mark. That target area was getting us back into this support zone that I have right here in yellow, and you can see we got into that target area, then we didn't manage to continue pushing higher, and we are seeing a bit of a pullback to the lower side. So there is a possibility that we might get to this key area of that trend line once more, maybe retest it. We can see a retest of that support line, that is that trend line. Then we can expect a very nice bounce to the upper side, manage to break above the key area of resistance at around the $0.024 mark. Then maybe we can also see a retest of that key area of resistance before we continue pushing higher, and in that movement, that is what will be forming a third wave to the upper side. And if I zoom in on this chart once more, so that we can also sketch out, I can also sketch out a target area for the higher Elliot wave count 3. We can use the trend based Fibonacci, connecting it from the low of the wave 1 down here to the high of that wave 1, then drag the fibs to the low of the wave 2, and that gives me a minimum target area to the upper side at around the $0.001 mark, and that is at the fib level 1.618. So there is a possibility, in case Lunc continues pushing higher, there's a possibility in the formation of that third wave we might be able to lose 1-0 here on the Lunc chart. And those are the key scenarios that I expect to play out, basing my analysis on the Elliot wave structures and also the key chart patterns that you have information right here. Also taking a look at the indicators to see what movements will be supported. Here on the 1 hour RSI, we are trading at around the 47 mark, meaning we have massive room for us to support any movement to the upper side in the formation of that third wave. Also taking a look at the MACD, unlucky for us here on the 1 hour MACD, we have printed a bearish cross, and that would mean lower prices could be coming our way. But on the 4 hour MACD, we have printed a bullish cross. Also on the 4 hour RSI, we can get to see that we are trading at around the 43 mark, meaning we have massive room for us to support any movement to the upper side. So let's be patient and see how that plays out, and I'll keep you updated.